super smart.
Uh-huh.
Smart in business.
Evidently.
Succeeded as a model prior to, everything she's doing now.
Her daughter just made $1 billion, right?
Yeah, she sold her company.
Oh, my God.
But briefly, the cool part of it is...
Yes.
She's super smart.
Uh-huh.
Smart in business.
Evidently.
Succeeded as a model prior to, everything she's doing.
Hold on to your phones, grab your tea, and cancel your next 30 minutes, because what's unfolding in the aftermath of Diddy's courtroom win might just flip everything on its head. You'd think a high-profile verdict would close a chapter, right? Well, Cassie's lawyer just turned that chapter into a prologue. And baby, we're only getting started. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It is free and help us bring you enjoyable content. And of course, watch till the end. Right when everyone thought Diddy could breathe easy after beating those 3 heavy criminal charges, boom, Douglas Wigdor came swinging with a warning that gave the internet collective whiplash. If you thought Cassie's story ended with her historic $20 million civil settlement, think again. Because Wigdor, the man who many are calling the legal pitbull of the decade, just hinted that this isn't over. Not even close. So what exactly did he say? Why is everyone suddenly looking at this not guilty verdict with a heavy side-eye? And what could be coming next for Diddy, whose so-called freedom might have just started its countdown? Let's break it all down. Because this case is no longer just about one woman's voice, it's about the chorus that's building behind her. Imagine sitting through weeks of emotional testimony, media storms, and jaw-dropping revelations, only to hear that the man at the center of it all was found not guilty on the most damning charges. That's what happened when the verdict dropped in Diddy's high-profile trial. To be clear, Diddy was found not guilty on 3 major charges, including trafficking, all linked to allegations made by Cassie and another accuser known only as Jane Doe. And it's a massive, but he was still convicted on 2 counts of transporting individuals across state lines for prostitution. That's huge. So why did people act like Diddy walked out of that courtroom a free man?
Sweet part of my kids, too, is no matter... In the wake of whatever their success is, their dad remains the same. Like, I've always been the same way. You're going to tell your daughter... Just feel like they need to be involved. And I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? I let my kids do what they're doing. And then if they want to throw a boomerang at me, then I'll call.
Because despite those convictions, Diddy's legal team immediately petitioned for him to be released on bond. And for a hot second, it looked like they might actually get their wish. Cue Douglas Wigdor. Let's talk about the man behind the legal curtain, Douglas Wigdor. If you've ever wondered what a lawyer with zero chill and a 100% client loyalty rating looks like, it's him. This is the same man who filed Cassie's original civil lawsuit. You know, the one that settled for $20 million in less than 24 hours and practically cracked the internet in half. That lawsuit didn't just bring Diddy into the courtroom, it helped trigger the federal investigation. Wigdor didn't just throw the first stone, he lit the match. And when rumors started swirling that Wigdor was allegedly offered a bribe to drop Cassie as a client, he didn't budge. In fact, he doubled down, saying, "I am very proud of Miss Ventura for having the strength to go public with her lawsuit. She ought to be commended for doing so. Respect." So when Diddy's lawyers asked the judge to release him pending sentencing, you already know Wigdor wasn't having it. The courtroom was still buzzing with the aftermath of the verdict when Wigdor fired off a statement that demanded Diddy remain behind bars. Here's what he wrote to the judge. "We write as counsel for Cassandra Ventura to respectfully request the court to deny Mr. Combs to be released pending his sentencing. Miss Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself as well as the community." Let's just pause right there. This wasn't just a formal objection, this was a power move. Wigdor put it out there. Diddy may be a millionaire mogul, but that doesn't make him safe. And the court? It agreed. The judge denied Diddy's request for bond. Translation? He'll be sitting in prison until at least October, when his sentencing is expected to take place. And although the max jail time for the charges is 20 years, insiders are whispering about possible presidential pardon talks behind the scenes. But whether or not Diddy ends up serving 2 years or 20, one thing is clear. Just when the media began packing up their cameras and TikTok was moving on to the next trending trial, Wigdor made his next move, and it sent shockwaves across every corner of the internet. Sources close to the case say multiple new victims are preparing to come forward, and guess who's representing them? Yep, Wigdor again. The man who had Diddy reaching for a $20 million check in record time is reportedly lining up new civil lawsuits. And since Diddy can't be retried in criminal court for the same offenses, thank you, double jeopardy, these new lawsuits are going the civil route, which means money talks and settlements walk. So what kind of lawsuits are we talking about? And how bad could this get? Well, let's just say that if Cassie's case was the spark, what's coming might be the full-on explosion. Some folks don't fully grasp how civil lawsuits work, especially when they follow criminal trials. Think of civil court as the place where people seek justice with receipts, emotional damages, reputation harm, trauma therapy costs, and more. And guess what? You don't need the same level of evidence as in a criminal trial. It's not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's preponderance of the evidence. If 51% of the facts point to guilt, that's enough. That's how Cassie got $20 million without a single day in criminal court. So if multiple women are now stepping up to file civil suits, Diddy's bank account might be in for the fight of its life, and that "not guilty" headline might age like expired milk. Curious about how this could affect his businesses, brands, or even that whisper of a presidential pardon. Oh, buckle up. Let's get real. Celebrities don't just live off their music or movies. Diddy, like many A-listers, has brands. Clothing lines, liquor deals, media companies. And when these legal storms hit, brands start pulling out faster than a bad first date. Already, whispers are floating around about contracts being reviewed, partnerships on pause, and advertisers monitoring the situation. In other words, Cassie's bravery, backed by Wigdor's bulldog persistence, is not only hitting Diddy where it hurts emotionally, but also financially. And if more women come forward, that damage compounds. Fast. But it's not just about the money. Cassie stepping forward wasn't just brave, it was catalytic. In the wake of her lawsuit, a federal investigation launched. Now, more women reportedly feel emboldened to speak out. This is bigger than one celebrity's legal drama. It's a signal to survivors everywhere. You can speak up and people will listen. Wigdor himself said, "This case proved that change is long overdue, and we will continue to fight on behalf of survivors." Let that sit for a minute. Change is long overdue. What started as one woman's painful truth may now be the beginning of a movement, and the legal world is watching. So, what's next? Can the victims finally see real justice? Can Diddy actually recover? Can Wigdor keep up the pressure? Let's look ahead. We're heading into a long summer where the courtroom may be quiet, but the preparation behind the scenes? Oh, it's anything but. With Diddy's sentencing expected in October, the prosecution is building its argument. Defense lawyers are likely crafting mitigation pleas. Victims may be preparing victim impact statements. And Douglas Wigdor? Probably gearing up for his next round of lawsuits. In the meantime, the court of public opinion is wide open. Every new allegation, every document leak, every whisper on social media has the power to swing sentiment. And while Diddy's lawyers may argue for mercy, the streets are screaming for accountability. So, what will happen when the sentencing hammer drops? Only time will tell. But if Wigdor has anything to say about it, this story is far from over. Let's be honest, high-profile legal dramas come and go. But the impact of this one? It's sticking around. Because this isn't just about Diddy. It's about women like Cassie who are tired of being silenced. About legal warriors like Wigdor who aren't afraid to go head-to-head with celebrity status. And about a justice system that's slowly, painfully, trying to catch up with the real world. So as we wait for sentencing, as more stories begin to surface, and as the dust refuses to settle, just know, this isn't the end. This is the turning point. Do you think Diddy will serve real time? Will more victims step forward? Can Cassie's case set a new precedent for celebrity accountability? Drop your thoughts below. Share this with someone who's been following the case. And if you've got a theory, an opinion, or even just a question, speak up. Because if there's one thing this case has shown us, it's that every voice counts.